When the Jennings family moved from Lubbock to Cedar Park, they created their own bit of paradise on rocky soil.
All there was a lawn and 2 trees in the backyard,
And there
right?
wasn't much of a lawn neither. Most of the backyard was just dirt.
So what prompted their colorful, fragrant panorama?
We went to Hawaii for our honeymoon and just fell in love with it, and I didn't want to leave, and I was just
Crying and everything.
I was like,
Wanted
I
to
don't
live
ever want
there.
to leave. I want to stay here forever because of all the beauty and the flowers. And so, unbeknownst to me, Robert decided to try to recreate that in our backyard. And he did all this work.
And this is all rock out here. I mean, this is literally all rock. If you jumped on a pitchfork, you would break your foot. I went 12 inches down, removed 20 truckloads of rock. I should have done raised beds, but wanted to go down instead. And in order to do that, then I had to use those huge, 6-foot, 30-pound iron bars to break the rocks up and to put the 6-inch edging in and all of that. At first, I was using a big old chisel and a sledgehammer, and it was so tedious that I lost 60 pounds in 90 days.
They couldn't recreate the Pacific Ocean, but Hill Country Water Gardens and Nursery added the romance of water in a multi-level pond. Robert's back was happy to let them deal with the bedrock for a pond deep enough for koi.
And definitely wanted a fountain. With a lot of fish, they suggested I might have 2 pumps, one for a bog filter, plus it's a bed for plants as well, the pickerel bushes, and then one for the fountain itself. So if one goes out, you still always have oxygen for the fish.
Encircling lawn separates the pond from Robert's beds. For daughter Callie Avery Faith Jennings, it's runaround time with their rescued dogs, sparing plants that don't go for pup frolics.
I added the exterior beds myself to where I could have layers of flowers.
Robert loves to adventure with plants. In front, tried and true old-fashioned favorites mingle with natives, tropicals, the latest cultivars, and lots of color. Along the curb strip, he chose heat lovers, including lantana.
Then you have forward clocks. They flower like crazy, but you really need to have mulch because they multiply like crazy if you don't watch it, and the roots get the size of carrots.
He added movement and definition through curves and layers. In back, Robert companion plants for ongoing color. Bulbs of all kinds celebrate each season.
I love primary colors and I love the rainbow colors, so I want all of that mixing together to where it's just a sea of color, 3D.
It's stunning.
He builds vertical dimension with vines.
1,000 feet of lattice, so I want it literally just from the ground all the way up to the sky in color. Clematis, white jasmine, yellow jasmine, although yellow's just there in April. But have all that just grow into one another, so it's just literally a wall of color. It's a black-eyed Susan vine, not the flower, but the clock vine, and there's an orange and a yellow and a white, and they just spread like crazy and just awesome, awesome flower.
Vines shade the patio in summer, too.
Towards the east there, and so I'll do kind of shade, part sun flowers like mandevillas. I'll have the giant red species of mandevilla, the giant white, and then the regular pinks, and the Alice DuPont. Everything is winter hardy except for obviously the tropicals in the pots, and then the greenhouse. I moved that in. That's quite a chore because it takes 2 days just to move it in there or to move it out each year. But that's essentially all that I have to do.
It was Robert's mom who planted his intrigue with gardening.
I really could have cared less until about 20 years ago when she sent me these hyacinth vines, beans. She called them Jack and the Beans. They're 3 little black beans with a white strip in it. And I go, oh, silly mom. She was definitely had beautiful flower beds in Lubbock, a big house or a half-acre lot, and she was out there all the time, as I remember as a child. And she sent me those, and that's what got me started. I planted them outside on the front door, and nothing happened for 3 days. I go, oh well, they died, they didn't make it. And I came home from work that day, 8 hours later, and they were that tall. They went from nothing to that tall. And from there, it took off. She had these grapevines that she always made a big deal of because she transplanted those from her mother in another part of Lubbock, and her mother was German or half German, and her mother's grandmother brought them from Germany to America. So these are at least 200 years old.
The garden's creatures make it even more special to them, including the koi.
They all had their names. One was even named after her old cat that she had for 20 years, Freckles, because it was orange, black,
We
and
still
white.
have Freckles.
Then blue and white herons joined the party. Thankfully, they didn't get Freckles.
A blue heron flew down right there, just 8 feet in front of me. Scared the daylights out of me. It looked like a dinosaur, pterodactyl just came down. I mean, it was 5 feet tall. They're opportunistic eaters, and they will keep coming back forever if it's there and they can get at it easy. So I read that if you have string or that won't break, or twine, 50-pound, 100-pound twine, and I figured make a Jacob's ladder of it, every angle and height, to prevent them from doing it, and it worked like a charm.
Mostly, though, they love the wildlife that book flights to their version of paradise.
There's a half dozen hummingbirds at least. I've even seen a white hummingbird, which is extraordinary. I've seen these little baby black ones, there's brown ones, there's green ones, a half dozen frog species.
Lots of butterflies.
The dragonflies, there's the small, medium, and large, and they're funny, they're very territorial, but you'll see them just everywhere. It's incredible. There's all sorts of insects, and the neat thing about it, I don't have to use chemicals or anything, because there's literally almost 500 species of flowers here, so it attracts every different type of insect imaginable, and it's like its own biosphere. They all eat one another.
It's phenomenal. It's amazing. It's just really special, and so now, you know, we don't even need to go on vacation. We just hang out in the backyard.
Little Shangri-La.